Podcasting from Sacramento, California, the Big Tomato. This is the IronCode Show, a weekly podcast about peak performers and the secrets they use to create success in business and their personal lives. Hear interviews with special guests, top performers from around the world. And now, here's your host, coach, author, and IronMind performance expert, Rich Green.
Hey, we are ready for another episode of the IronCode Show. And today I've got a really exciting guest. Her name is Melissa Hughes. Melissa and I met about a year ago, and I heard her story, and I was just absolutely so fascinated by her as an individual and a mom and a businesswoman. And I was even more amazed when I found out what she does. And I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to get into it in the show here. And just like every show, at the end, I'm going to ask what her code is. And you know, the code is the success formula that people use to overcome the hurdles that they have in life. And so we'll be asking Melissa about that. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much. Super honored and happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here as well. And, you know, I could tell the story, but I'd love to hear about, you know, how you got started in your business. But first, before we do that, I heard you speak in front of a very large audience, and it was extremely moving. And I'd love it if you wouldn't mind sharing your personal story.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. That'd be great.
Audience, because I think it's there is a real message of strength there. And so I see the code definitely in your story. So
yeah,
if you don't mind burying yourself a little bit,
yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah. It was about, well, it was in 2015. My husband and I had the opportunity to move to the UK. And it was really like a dream of mine. I just so happened I married a British person. And we had the opportunity to move to the UK to start a church over there, which was just something that we were both so excited about and felt like it was the right thing to do. We sold our house, our car, quit our jobs, all of it. And then we went over to the UK, and my husband was looking for work. We had just settled, like by settled, I mean, we just landed.
Okay.
And I got a phone call one morning, and I was sitting in like such a beautiful city in the UK, having a scone, drinking a cup of tea, just like, feeling like was the dream. And my husband called me, and he was like, hey, I've been in a bit of a car accident. And he sounded so calm. And like, I was obviously concerned, but I was like, oh, you know, he seems okay. So I ended up going to the hospital, walked in the door, and my heart just absolutely sank. My husband was laid in bed with tubes everywhere, and nurses were screaming about. He was totally like drugged up. And I realized like it was way worse than like what he had portrayed on the phone. And the next couple of days were really surreal as we found out he was going to be bedridden for a year. He had like severely shattered his leg and some other bones in his body. He's going to be bedridden for a year. At that point, we had no house, no car, no job, away from family, obviously living in a new country. We were there to like start a church. Now suddenly we've become people that are like in desperate need. And I was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So the only place when like during that time we were trying to obviously like find a place to live, the only place that would rent to us was a funeral home in a valley. In the heart of Wales.
I haven't heard this part. Hold on. A funeral home?
Yeah, that was like where we could, yeah, it was a funeral home.
Oh no.
So yeah, it was, I didn't even think about it at the time, but it was just so like depressing. And So for like at the time I was like, oh, things are going to get better. Felt like God called us here and so it's going to turn around. But as time went on, it didn't get better. His health conditions kind of like worsened. I now had 2 kids under 2 and was like struggling with a lot of insomnia, postpartum stuff, anxiety. The people that were leading the church with left. It was like just one thing after another after another. And a friend of mine called me from back home, and it was about a year and a half into our journey. And she was like, Melissa, how are you doing? And I was like, it's going to be okay. Things are going to get better. Like, we've had some challenges, but God's good, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, it's okay to just say that things are really hard right now. And to be honest with you, Rich, I couldn't really get those words out of my mouth because I was really going to have to address a question that I wasn't really prepared to answer, which was, but then if things aren't okay, then why would God call us into something that seems so bad if he says that he's a good God? Wow. So I was like, it was really addressing a core value that I had, which was my faith, and really feeling like I'm going through a faith crisis as we're over here, trying to like encourage people to have faith.
Yeah. Listen, your friend must have known you pretty well to have detected that you weren't quite being honest with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it was just like, it really unraveled. Like, I feel like you can go through hard things, right? But if you have your core values, what you believe in,
right,
you can lean on that. But when you're going through something hard and then the thing that you believe in is also being shaken, that's when like you're really struggling, because it's like, well, what do you believe about life and your perspective, and what are you holding on to? So it really kind of like shattered some like areas in myself, felt like really broken. And I really had to like wrestle with that question, like, is God good when things are bad? And I just didn't have an answer. And then it was several months, maybe even like a year or so later, I remember walking around this park by our house and like really in that space of like wrestling. And I really felt God like really whisper into like such a tender chamber in my heart. And he just said, Melissa, mountaintop experiences are for sights and inspiration, but the fruit grows in the valleys of life. And where I really wanted, like, I was expecting I should have this like pain-free life. I felt like God was really calling me to live a more profound life where you have the mountaintop and the valley, because you can't have like a triumph without a tragedy, or, really love someone deeply without experiencing hurt or heartache. You have to have both. Like, life is meant to be lived in contrast.
Yeah,
And
yin and yang, right?
yeah.
You can't have one without the other. But could you say that phrase again? Because I love that, the mountaintop and the valley. So
mountaintop experiences are for sights and inspiration, but the fruit grows in the valleys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Heavy.
Yeah. It was just such like it just helped me to value the season that I was in and know that it was just a season, and that like, for me, it validated the sense of like, I think for a long time, I thought, as like, I'm obviously a faith person, but I felt like God was good when life was good. But like, there's so much to learn in the times of our lives when things don't go our way, or we're questioning or we're wondering. It's like a lot of that stuff internally gets built on the inside of our life that we would never develop or go through had we not gone through what we went through.
Right.
And so I just really started to see the value of, I guess, the valley seasons. It's like, not that I want to go through them, but they really make you the person that you're meant to be. And it teaches you a lot in those seasons. So
it makes me think about many of the sayings I've heard in personal growth and business, that, all of the growth, all of the good stuff happens in the uncomfortable zone.
Yeah.
The comfort zone's not where all the growth happens. It's not where you get the wealth of learning. It's the uncomfortable. But man, it sounds painful.
Oh, I love the comfort zone.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, give me all the comfort. But what was so crazy was after that time and after really like kind of like valuing that, we moved home. And shortly after that,
Back to the US?
yeah, I moved back to the US, and God started speaking to me about going on social media and posting videos. It was so random, so out of left field, but I randomly posted this video on TikTok and it got 22 million views, and I ended up on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And so that leads into what I do now.
I knew you posted a video and you got started on TikTok. 22 million views?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What was the video of?
It was a video of my kids sledding. It like I didn't post it to go viral. I was just trying to figure out how to like add text and like how do you use the app. But people just thought it was really funny. It was kind of a mom fail. My kids like I pushed them down this like hill. They picked up speed, hit a jump. The sled turned. You can hear my daughter going like, "Mommy!" It was like 7 seconds. But yeah, but it was just like
22 million views.
Yeah.
and I heard you got on a show. You got on the Kelly Clarkson
Yes.
show.
Wow. I got on the Kelly Clarkson show. Yep. So it's now I'm on the mountaintop in other ways because now it opened up doors. I was able to start my own business. I do consulting for women on how to share their message and their story using short video, working with podcasters, entrepreneurs. I ended up having a kids book made out of one of my TikTok videos.
Really?
Yeah, a publishing company reached out. It's called Mommy Loves You When.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what's it about?
It's I did a TikTok basically just like looking at the camera saying what I would want my kids to know about how I feel about them. So it's this whole video about how I love them on their good days and their bad days, when they're happy and when they're sad, and that I don't just love them, but I like them. And so it was like this like kind of monologue that a lot of moms resonated with that ended up getting turned into a kid's book.
That's cool. That's cool. So you've taken, the mom side of you and turned it into a business.
Yes.
And you're helping other women.
Yes. Yeah. I'm helping other women.
Guys do?
I do. I think, well, in the business world, they say, well, it's decide who you love working with and work with those people. So since I'm an entrepreneur and I get to create it, I'm like, I love working with women.
Cool. That's great. So tell us a little bit more about the video side of things, because I heard you say this. Was this your first TikTok video that you were playing with, and you were trying to get the words and everything else, and then somehow you got 22 million views? Or
literally, it was an accident. Yes, I did not intend. I didn't know anything about video or the platform. The only reason why I uploaded it was just because I was feeling like this was something God was putting on my heart to do. And I thought that it was just so random. So I was like, okay, like I guess I'll just like see how you even upload. And then it just took off.
Wow. So God, God was with you the whole way.
He was.
And it just turned into a business that I guess is supporting your family. And how's your husband doing now?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing really good. He, not this summer, but the last summer, the surgery, he had to get like a rod put through his leg, and he eventually just a couple summers ago got it taken out. So his like recovery is complete. He's doing great. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So I want to go back to, if I can, I want to go back to this video thing because I'm fascinated by videos.
Yeah.
Videos really seem like the way, and from a business perspective, really seem like the way that a lot of companies and a lot of people are going.
Yeah, they are right now. I mean, in 2020, TikTok just became a social media disruptor because everybody was posting pictures. And then because of the popularity of that app, it suddenly, right, Instagram, Facebook, they're getting nervous because so much craze around TikTok. So now every single social media platform is mirroring what that platform is doing to try to keep up with the popularity of short video.
I've seen that. I've seen that
Mhm.
in Instagram with their short videos, and of
No,
course Facebook has done it for a while, but I don't think as good as TikTok has. And
no.
do you think this is just a? I want to ask the question because I'm a boomer. Do
Yeah.
you think it's a generational thing? Or
I
do you
think
see all the you see TikTok? Let's talk about TikTok specifically. Do
yep.
you see that as more of a generational thing that maybe younger people are using it, or what are you seeing?
I see, like, I think if you look at the trends, like all the young people have hopped on a platform that the older generation have been like, "Pfft," like when YouTube first started, it was like the double rainbow guy, right? It was like
Right. Yeah.
YouTube
Right.
videos. If businesses that hopped on YouTube when that was happening, think of all the money that they're making now. Same with Instagram. It was a young person's platform that people were just taking funny pictures. And now it's a place of business. And I see that happening at a much faster rate with TikTok.
Yeah. I will tell you that I didn't look at TikTok for a long time just because of that aspect of it. And then when I got into it, realized it was more than entertainment. Entertainment is great, but it was more than entertainment. And I probably in the last year, maybe made a
Mm,
dozen purchases,
right.
merchandise purchases off
From,
of ads I saw on TikTok.
yep.
So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And the boom, like the growth on TikTok has like superseded the growth on any other platform right now. So I don't think it's going away. It'll be interesting. I mean, the platform has even changed a lot since I've been on it in the last year and a half. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops.
So what are you working with? So you're working with solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
And and I heard you say you're working on video. Is it TikTok specifically, or are you working on other social media platforms?
right. So really it's learning how to use video, and I teach people to repurpose that video to all platforms. So
Great.
my special, like where I've grown my largest following is on TikTok, but every platform needs short video. And I grew my account by posting videos in my car on my lunch break because I was
Really?
working. Um, so like I teach people really to like use their voice. I know a lot of people do like trends and they, do the funny videos, but I see so much value in helping people develop their message and like speaking to the camera and adding value by growing an audience that way. So that type of video can be used on every platform. And I just
Right.
think it's a great way to get people to know, like, and trust you.
Do you do and I am a follower, so I see your TikToks, and many of them are very funny. Do you mix that personal side with the business side? How does that work?
Yeah. So I think something like my account is mainly motherhood, and that's kind of like where I've grown my followers. But now because of what I'm doing with social media and really wanting to help people grow on the platform, I've actually started a second account called She Can Share, where I'll be sharing more about like social media, my journey, tips and tricks, that type of thing.
Great.
Um, just because I feel like it's two separate two separate things. And I think like the moms sometimes just want the mom
Right. Yeah, no,
content.
I was curious about that because, obviously the branding
Mhm.
is you, right?
Yeah.
Most views. And
Uh-huh.
so and people want to know who you are. So you've got this personal side, this great mom side, great kids, this great mom side, but that I was just curious about how that brand spills over into the business side of what you do. So you've actually separated accounts. It's under She Can Share.
Yeah.
Is that more of the social media tips and business side?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And I
if
think
people want to follow you there,
I think if you start out as a business, sometimes it can be easier to show some of the personal. but to go from personal to business, I don't think not everybody wants that content. So I think I will be kind of like mixing content a little bit, because I think in order to have more of a holistic picture of who you are, it's
Right.
good to show that you do both. But I think like kind of what you lead with, like the one account will lead more with like the business, the social media, and the other account will lead more towards like the mom type of encouragement.
Got it. Any tips for entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs in general that want to use TikTok?
Yes, start.
Here on the show here, I know this is what you do, but I
Yeah.
want some of the good stuff here.
Yeah, I could give you loads of tips. Number one, it would be to like start creating the content, and you have to start messy. If you plan to just continue posting static images to promote like or to market what you do, you're gonna be left behind. It's becoming irrelevant.
Boring,
So
right?
what's that?
It's kind of boring, isn't it?
Yeah,
Static.
because right. And it's hard. I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. Like, how do you show up on camera? What do you say? How do you do it and not feel cheesy? People struggle to hear their own voice, see themselves on camera. So a lot of those things are things that I tackle with my clients, but also, how do you, okay, so you go on video, but what do you say? Right. So I think in every single video,
So I heard you say the first step is just do it and get
start.
messy.
Yep. Start messy.
By the way, I'm a steps guy. I love
Oh,
steps 1, 2,
I can do
3,
the steps.
4, 5. So the first step is you just got to get on. I heard you say, just do it.
Just do it. You need to start, because you can take all the courses, you could do all the things, but clarity comes with movement. And unless you start doing it, you're just gonna feel very stuck. And I have experienced that, like, should I say this? Should I not? And then you just go around the mountain. But if you can just like start, and even if the video doesn't perform, or even if you thought you looked stupid, just post it, because number one, you never know I never thought that video would go viral.
22 million.
22 million. Never thought that would go viral. So many things. Videos that I like cringed at. The one that my kids' book got turned into, I almost took that video down because I was like, it wasn't getting traction, and I felt like I was being very vulnerable. And I was like, oh, I'm so cringy. And it ended up going mega viral, and a kid's book got made out of it. So
you never know.
You never know.
What people are going to like. And I just heard a magic word in there. Vulnerable. Where does that play into doing videos?
That plays into making a video where it goes right past your comfort zone,
right.
which is very hard, and you post it, it's like being able to share something that is comfortable is great, and those how-to videos are awesome, but sometimes it is good to share those things where you're like, oh, I just don't really know if I should open up about this or share it. That's really where a lot of people end up connecting with you. And being fully transparent, Rich, I find that difficult. Like, that is something like I want to grow in, because it's hard. It's hard to show up vulnerable and share something that is hard to say, because you are open to getting rejected or getting the comments and whatever.
Right.
Being vulnerable is where people really connect with you.
I think, in just my own personal experience, I think that's also one of the hardest things, besides getting out there and just doing it and not feeling like you look like an idiot, or I don't like the way I look, or I heard you say, the sound of your voice, that's surprising to a lot of people. When you hear the voice, it's like, that's not how I sound. But how we hear it is in here, and when they hear themselves on a video, it's like, wow. But I think the vulnerability thing, at least, that really resonates with me, just because it's hard. You're right. People will say things, or you're afraid of what people will think.
Oh yeah. That's a huge one.
Yeah, it's a huge one. And I think you're right. That's where people really connect, because we're humans. We're not perfect. Yeah. And when someone shows that vulnerability and and you have something that's similar to somebody else, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
They get that connection.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, it's almost like there are stages of vulnerability. Like I had a woman that started crying because for her to even go on social media, it feels vulnerable for her because she might be seeing posts of other people that are doing things that she wishes she could do, but she can't, or she doesn't feel like she can. So it's vulnerable for her to even open herself up to that space.
Wow.
Second stage of vulnerability is actually turning the camera on and posting a video.
Yeah.
That's super vulnerable for people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there are like stages of vulnerability that people can go through.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I guess you're right. And as you get more comfortable going through those stages, that the vulnerability or the feeling of I don't want to do it lessens or diminishes over time. I suppose it never goes away, but completely.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, I haven't thought about that either. That just kind of came to me. I might do a video about that, Rich.
Yeah,
Be on the
no,
lookout.
I think that's great. I mean, I hadn't thought about stages. I just thought about being vulnerable, but yeah,
Yeah.
like anything, any kind of growth thing, the more you do it, the better you feel,
Yeah.
or the more comfortable you are. You still
Yeah.
may have things inside that maybe you don't want to share because of the level of personal, the personal issues and
Yeah.
maybe you never will, but I'd love to see a video. Love to see you do a video on that.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and I'll tag you, Rich. Stages
Okay,
of vulnerability. Go check out Rich's podcast.
that's awesome. So do it, get vulnerable. What else?
And then the second thing is, in every video, you need to think, how is this video adding value to my audience? And the way that you communicate it is very important. So you can't just so many people that are trying to create short video, try to do it in long format. What I mean by that is they do this. They grab their phone, they go, hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing good. I just wanted to come on here. Look, that took 7 seconds and you've lost the person.
Yeah, right.
You need to open the camera and immediately give a hook for what you're going to say in your video, how it's enticing somebody to come in. And then you lead them through the video by drawing them into the story or drawing them into the point. So there's the most important metric with TikTok or video right now is watch time.
Oh, okay.
That's why TikTok has been genius at their algorithm, because it's based on watch time. If you notice, you go on TikTok and you're sucked in for 3 hours because they keep sending you videos of content that you like. So that's how videos go viral, is your watch time is up.
Okay. So if you do a good job, first of all, with drawing them in, and secondly, with keeping them with valuable content.
Yeah. So if you have
your video will keep getting shown to other people that are looking for similar things. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So TikTok pushes your video out to like a pool of people. If your watch time is high, then they're like, TikTok is like, oh, like we want to keep people on the app. We're going to push it out to more people. And it pushes it out to people that would be interested in your content. So it's an amazing marketing tool for a business owner because it's going to people that you want to see your content. So you're being like blessed. And also TikTok is getting more people on their app because everybody's just staying on watching videos that they like.
That's so from the perspective of advertising your brand, it's pretty interesting because a lot of other places or other ways that you might advertise or other venues, you have to select the people that you want to reach. Yeah. And this algorithm, what I hear you saying is algorithm naturally finds them for you based upon the other common things that they look at that they're watching you for.
It literally markets your content for you.
Wow. You think TikTok's one of the most powerful social media platforms out there today as far as advertising and branding?
I do. And that's why every other platform is trying to change the model, because they've realized what TikTok is doing and the success of it and how it benefits both. It benefits the business owner or the content creator, but it also benefits the app, because look at the popularity. People love it because they're constantly being shown videos that will interest them, that will like them, that they're just like sucked into it hours and hours and hours.
I know it's sometimes it's bad. So
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
admit to getting sucked in also. It's like I didn't intend to spend an hour, doing this. I just wanted a little bit of entertainment. And that's how it happens. You get a little entertainment, and then now I understand how I start getting other things that I hadn't seen before, that it's like, yeah, I'm interested in that. And then the ads
Yeah.
come. And
Yeah.
then the products come, and it's like, I never thought about that before. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Very cool. So
Yeah.
the is there a step 3? Is there a final step in here, or is there, how do you take that, keeping them interested to engage, maybe the call to action, like do something with me or buy something from me, or
Yeah.
does that even go into that video?
Yeah. So with TikTok, one of the things that I think people love about it is the vibe of authenticity. So I think for a long time, Instagram became such a business hub and so curated and so professional that part of the reason why people started to hop on TikTok was because it felt like it wasn't. It was like people have fun on TikTok. People aren't, you're not trying to be sold to. Whereas on
Yeah.
Instagram, everything was ads. But with TikTok, so when you're selling stuff, or if you're, you're a business owner and you're on there trying to like get people to buy into who you are, you don't actually want to, show up and be like, hi, we have an event on Thursday, March 25th, right? That's not going to do well. You want to almost create a video that seems like we're just hanging out, we're just talking. I'm just sharing from my heart. I'm sharing from my car. Here I am. I'm eating my apples and peanut butter, and we're just going to chat, literally. But you're strategic about it because you make it seem like it's casual.
Yeah.
And then you're seeding people with like, yeah, so like when I work with my clients, right? Now people are like, oh, maybe she has a business. So you're like subtly seeding people with who you are, what you do, and you can make an offer at the end of the video or put it in there or like show what you do. But I think being strategic about it right now is doing it in a way that doesn't seem like you're selling them,
Yeah.
even though you are.
Yeah. Because
Does that
nobody
make
likes to be
sense?
sold. So no,
No.
it totally makes sense. And it is very different
Mm-hmm.
than the other social media platforms as far as that's concerned. And I noticed that as well.
Yeah. It's like you need to, I think what's really important is you show up on social media to serve first, right? It's like, it's thinking of the other person. It's like, how can I help you? And a lot of people might struggle with that because like, oh, I'm giving it away for free. But it's like, well, whatever you sow, you're going to reap. So like, I think part of the like success for me personally is like, I showed up really being like, okay, I like want to just help moms. My account grew and now I've got a business out of it. But for a long time, like, and I'm making money and I've had opportunities and all of that came. But for a long time, I was just sowing seed into moms without getting anything in return.
That's a
I
good,
think people have a hard time doing it.
that's a good story. The story of reaping and sowing.
Yeah.
I love that story, and it's a great sales story too. It really. I heard you say, I love what you said. Show up to serve. Show up to serve. Don't show up to sell. Show up to serve.
That's right. And I think a lot of people, you know, they have a hard time. I know,
By the way, I'm using that phrase. I just I think that
Oh, you coined that phrase?
it's a great lesson. No, I mean you and I just came up with it together here. Don't show up to sell. Show up to serve.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And it's like, you know, that book, I know Jen Koffel, who's an amazing business coach, by the way. Well, Jen Loving, she just changed her name, but
Yes.
she does, she shared that book with me, Being a Go-Giver
No,
with
yeah,
Bob
Go-Giver was
Berg.
great. Bob Berg, yeah.
Yeah. And being like, not being a go-getter, like, what can I get? It's like, what can
Right.
I give? And so I think for business, like that is a principle that I think makes people successful, especially with social media.
He's got a bunch of great books. Go-Giver, Go-Getter.
Mhm.
Yeah, so folks that are listening to this, if you want to be showing up to serve and not to sell, and you will reap what you sow.
Yeah.
If you're a good server, I mean, it's going to come back at you. That's a good book. So
Yeah.
I also, I'm glad you brought that up. I recommend that. It's a great book.
Yeah. Hmm.
Super,
So I
super.
think, yeah, showing up to, and this is another one too that I say to a lot of my clients, because they're like, oh, you know, I don't know, like, should I do it like this? Should I do it like that? And how many times should I post? Like, we get so caught up in the metrics of what, like, our strategy. And I'm like, you know, first of all, you should show up to affirm rather than get affirmation. Because a lot of times we let what, like, the feedback that we get, which is good in a way, dictate our message.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you can decide in yourself, this is my message. And let me just tell you a quick story, because I feel like this hits it home. But I learned this when I was actually working in childcare. And I was posting TikToks, right? I was working in childcare when that video took off, and I was trying to figure out the platform. And I was like, oh, I just don't know what to post, just don't know like what my message is. I was like really getting stuck in my head. And I was working in this toddler class, and I was pulling this wagon with these kids in it, and they were like messing about, and I hit this like little bump in the sidewalk, and the wagon got stuck. And I was like, guys, just follow me. And I said it. And as those words came out of my mouth, I felt like God boomeranged that phrase back to me. And he was like, Melissa, that is how you need to show up on social media. Like, I'm going in this direction. This is what I'm saying. This is my message. Follow me. Rather than, oh, do people like what I'm saying? Oh, my views are down. I hope like maybe I should change. It's like, no, you know what your message is. You know what you're meant to say. Stop letting other people dictate what's inside of you. You know it. Go in that direction, and people will follow you.
I love that. And people don't, back to sales, because, that's been my profession for over 30 years. People don't buy from people that are needy, that are begging or that are needy. That's not what they do.
Right.
That actually pushes them away. So being authentic with your message and saying, come along with me. If you want to come along, if you like what you see,
Yeah.
come along with me. If you like what you see,
Yeah.
and it's going to be good. And I think that's a great approach. So I've heard you say a bunch of times you were seeding this podcast about the people you work with. So
I do
so
it so
I'll
naturally.
so I'll let's open it up. I'd love for you to tell people how they can work with you.
Yeah.
Um, and
So,
yeah, go ahead.
well, I can offer a free gift because I'm going to
Oh,
show up to serve and not to sell, Rich.
all
But
right,
on
good.
my website, I have a TikTok content blueprint, where you can just like go to my website. It's at Melissa Lee Hughes, LEA Hughes.com. And you can download a video that will tell you exactly how I structure my videos to go viral. And
Wow.
there's a PDF with it. And it took me a long time to figure it out, but I'm just going to give that away for free. So if
Wow.
that is something that, your followers are interested in, you can get that on my website. And then
I
I
get
offer,
22 million followers if I follow.
if you do it right.
That
So,
man, that's really generous. I'll make sure in the notes section. I'll make sure that we put that link so everybody can take advantage of
okay.
it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it'll really help people kind of figure out what to say and how to say it. It's important. And then I offer a coaching program right now that I'm super excited about for women. And there's 2 tracks, but it's called She Can Share. And a program that women come into my community. I support them in discovering like what their core genius is with their messaging, how they are set apart. We do coaching. I have a course, and it's very supportive. And I really love supporting women, especially, women of faith. I definitely lead with that.
Awesome. So I'm assuming they can get information on that on your website as well.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make sure that's all in the notes. That's very, very nice, very generous of you. Take advantage of that, folks. If you want to do videos on TikTok or any other social media, if you want to do them right, if you want to be able to get the kind of views that Melissa does, go ahead and take advantage of that generous free gift. Really appreciate that. I think you're probably going to be ready for it, but I always ask this at the end of our time together, which is, I want to know what the code is. I want to know what your code is. What's the thing that allows you to be successful, allows you to overcome those difficult things, those difficult things that we face in life. And love to hear what you think that is in your life.
Rich, I'd love to share it. She can share. It would 100% be trusting God. And, that is such a part of my story, but I think that is the question that humanity really asks, is like, can I put my trust in God? And I would say 100%. And if I think about how, for me, I'm a person of faith. I totally believe that Jesus came, that he overcame, and that through him we can become overcomers. But he absolutely is good, trustworthy, and he's everything. And he's definitely like, you can put your trust in him, even when it seems dark and scary and like it's not going to work out. He has a way of taking the negative and turning it into a positive. And he does that internally, spiritually, but in every aspect of our life. And so if it's not good yet, he's not done, and he's got an amazing plan for people's lives.
Wow. Really powerful. Thank you so much. That is a great message and a great code as well. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed the conversation. Really enjoyed learning about your business and your code and how you apply that to your life. So Thanks so much.
Thank you. Such an honor being here, and love what you do. Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, that's it for today. Until the next time, know your code.
Thanks for listening to the Iron Mind Code Show with Rich Green. Make sure to visit our website. Join us next time for another edition of the Iron Mind Code Show.